Good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we had started about the chromosomes. We have discussed all these, the definition of chromosome, chromatin fiber. So, chromatin fiber is composed of basically two structures, that is DNA and the histone. Okay. So, today we have to start with DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. It is a macromolecule. Macromolecule, it means polymer, just like polymer. So many monomers joins together to form a macromolecule. So monomer here is the nucleotide. So many nucleotides joining together to form the macromolecule is the polynucleotide chain. Okay, which are complementary strand. Complementary strand, it means if you have one strand, the another strand can be synthesized upon it, and which is semi-conservative, which will these complementary strands will coil around each other to form a double helix structure like this. Okay, this is polynucleotide strand, this is another polynucleotide strand. These two polynucleotide strands will coil around each other and forms the helical structure, and on the basis of this helical pattern, whether right-handed or left-handed, there are three different types of DNA, that is aDNA, zDNA, bDNA, like that. Okay, so the two polynucleotide strands will coil around each other into a helical pattern. So it is a double helix like structure, double stranded structure. Okay, then this polynucleotide, which are complementary strand. Why it is the complementary strand? Because if you know the basis of one strand, the basis of the other strand can be synthesized or known very easily. So that is why these two strands will be complementary to each other. We will discuss in detail how. Okay, then in these two polynucleotide strands will coil around itself to form double helix carrying the genetic instructions for the development, functioning, growth and reproduction of all organisms and many viruses. So genetic instructions. What are genetic instructions? Three consecutive nucleotide on the DNA strand is known as one gene. And very famous father of Indian genetics, Dr. Hargobind Khurana, for which he got the Nobel Prize also, he said that each gene is responsible for the synthesis of one protein. Okay, three consecutive nucleotide on the DNA strand forms one gene, and each gene is responsible for the synthesis of protein. Okay, so this nucleotide strands or DNA strands contains the codons, and it will give the instruction that which type of protein has to be synthesized. And you know that, and you will come to know that protein is involved at each and every phase of the cell, whether it is growth, whether it is maintenance, whether it is the structure. Not only this much, the skin pigmentation, whether you are dark or fair, that is also due to a protein, and that protein is melanin protein. Okay, the color of the pupil, that is also due to the protein, that is iodopsin protein, rhodopsin protein. Okay, so whatever you are, the genetic instructions for the development, functioning and growth and reproduction is coded inside these DNA strands. And how it is coded inside the DNA strands? Because the three consecutive nucleotide on the DNA strand is known as one gene, and each gene is responsible for the synthesis of one protein, and these proteins are only required for functioning, growth, reproduction of all organisms. And why it has mentioned many viruses? Because most of the viruses like HIV virus is the RNA virus. It is not the DNA virus. So few viruses are containing the genetic material in the form of DNA, and few viruses are containing the genetic material in the form of RNA. So DNA is the deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a macromolecule of nucleotides. So that is why DNA strand is a polynucleotide chain, and these two polynucleotide chain of the DNA are complementary to each other. These two strands will coil around each other to form a double helical structure, and on this double helical structure the genetic instructions are present, and these genetic instructions are important for the development, functioning, growth and reproduction of all living organisms and many viruses. Now what are nucleotides? Right now we have seen that DNA strand is a polynucleotide strand. So nucleotide is one of the structural component or building block of the DNA or RNA. Nucleotide is a complex compound, you can say. Nucleotide is a complex chemical compound which is basically composed of three different compounds, that is a base, a molecule of sugar and one molecule of phosphoric acid. Okay, so base are of four chemicals, that is adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine plus uracil. We will see that in RNA, in spite of thymine, which nitrogenous base is there? That is uracil. Okay, a molecule of sugar. So molecule of sugar may be the deoxyribose sugar or the ribose sugar. Deoxyribose sugar or the ribose sugar. If the sugar is ribose sugar, then it is RNA, and if the sugar is deoxyribose sugar, then it will be DNA and phosphoric acid. So these two compounds will form the backbone. Right now I have drawn what? The backbone. So the backbone is composed of the phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid will be outside, then there will be sugar, and then to the sugar a nitrogenous base will be attached. Okay, so backbone is composed of the phosphoric acid and the sugar molecule. Phosphoric acid will be outwardly placed. Inside the phosphoric acid, sugar is attached, and with the sugar the nitrogenous base is attached. So these three compounds all together it is known as nucleotide, whereas the sugar and the nitrogenous base combinedly it is known as nucleoside, not tide. In that case it will be nucleoside. So sugar and the nitrogenous base combinedly it is known as nucleoside, and when the phosphoric acid is attached to it, then it will be known as nucleotide. Okay, so nucleotide is a complex chemical compound composed of three basic units, that is a nitrogenous base, a molecule of sugar and phosphoric acid. So just see here, this is the deoxyribose sugar. Okay, this is deoxyribose sugar. To the sugar nitrogenous base is attached, and with the sugar outwardly what is attached? That is phosphoric acid, H3PO4, and 3-phosphate group, that is mono, di, tri. So nitrogenous base with sugar is known as nucleoside. Then nucleoside with phosphate it is known as nucleotide. The nitrogenous base are of two categories, that is purines and pyrimidines. Then how you will remember? What you observe, this is adenine, this is guanine, this is thymine, this is cytosine, this is uracil. Okay, so as the term is larger, it is single ring structure. Pyrimidine, many letters, but it is single ring. Purine, comparatively less number of letters, so these bases are double ring. Okay, so always a pairing will occur with purine and pyrimidine. So adenine will pair with thymine with 2 hydrogen bonds in between it. Guanine will pair with cytosine with 3 hydrogen bonds in between it. Okay, and the bond between the phosphate and sugar over here is the phosphodiester bond. Okay, whereas the bond between the two nitrogenous base is the hydrogen bond. Clear? So purines are double ring nitrogenous base. Example of purine is adenine and guanine. Pyrimidines are single ring nitrogenous base. Example is thymine, cytosine and uracil. So DNA will have adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine, but RNA will have adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. RNA will not have thymine. RNA will have uracil. Okay. So now I said in the previous slide that these two strands are complementary. So if you know that adenine is there on the one strand of DNA, what should be the base on the opposite strand over here? If it is DNA, so what you will say? That T. So by knowing one strand's nucleotide or nitrogenous base, you can identify which base will be there in front of it. So these two strands are complementary to each other in this way. Okay. Then again it is shown over here, sugar phosphate backbone. Yellow colored part is sugar phosphate backbone. Phosphate is outwardly placed and then sugar is placed. To the sugar, the nitrogenous base is attached. A pairs with T with 2 hydrogen bonds in between it. G pairs with C with 3 hydrogen bond between it. Okay. And the sugar, the phosphate and the nitrogenous base all together, it is known as what? Nucleotide. Okay. Now this is the again simple structure. Sugar phosphate backbone is there, base pairing is there, G and C is there. Okay. 4 types of bases are there: adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine. And if you know the bases of one strand, you can easily identify the bases of the other strand. For example, I am telling you A is here, T is here and C is here. So if it is DNA, tell me what should be the base over here on this strand in front of A. Obviously it is T. If T is here, then it is A is here. If C is here, then it is G is here. A and T, how many hydrogen bonds? 2. A and T, how many hydrogen bonds? 2. But C and G, how many hydrogen bonds? 3. So by knowing the bases of one strand, you can easily identify the bases on the other strand, and in this way these two strands are complementary to each other. Now the histone protein. Histones are a family of basic protein. What it is? Basic protein, and which associates with DNA in the nucleus and helps them into condense into chromatin. Okay. The DNA is around 2 meters long, and such a long DNA has to be kept inside the nucleus, which is less than and whose size is less than the micrometers. So how such a long DNA is kept inside the nucleus? So this thing is possible only by the process of coiling and condensation. You must have seen your mother in the winters, if they are doing the knitting process, what they do, they make the balls, woolen balls. Okay, first of all. Okay, what is it? Coiling and then condensation. So in the same manner, that such a long DNA has to be coiled and condensed so that it will be kept inside the nucleus whose size is less than the micrometer. Okay. So for coiling and condensation, a core is required, and that core is formed by the help of histone protein on which the DNA will wrap around. Then this is known as coiling, and then another wrapped around, and then there will be contraction between these two. So this is condensation. So there should be coiling and then there should be condensation. Okay. So nuclear DNA does not appear in the free strands. Okay. It is highly condensed. It is saying nuclear DNA. There are other parts of the cell also where you have the DNA, that is non-nuclear DNA, that is mitochondria and the plastid, and that is why such cell organelles were known as semi-autonomous cell organelles. Nuclear DNA only appear in the highly condensed stage, whereas the mitochondrial DNA, plastidial DNA will be in the form of linear strands. But the nuclear DNA is highly condensed and wrapped around the histone in order to fit inside the nucleus and take part in the formation of chromosome. Just see, have a look. So histones are highly conserved and are subgrouped into core histone and linker histone. Let's see, this is the core histone and this is the linker histone. Okay, the core histone includes a histone, that is for histone H is used. So H2A, 2B, 3 and 4. Okay, see, core histone includes 2A, 2B, 3 and 4, whereas linker histone is H1. Clear? So two of each core histone are assembled into octamer. 4 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 4 at the back side. So how many histone proteins? 4 plus 4, 8. So we can say it as histone octamer. So DNA will wrap around the histone octamer. To form the core particle of a nucleosome with 147 base pairs of DNA wrapped around it. 147, roughly you just understand, on the histone core, the DNA will wrap around 2.5 turns, 1 turn, 2 turn and 2.5 turns. Okay, and the linker histone, here is the entry point of the DNA, here is the exit point of the DNA from the histone DNA from the histone core. So this linker will help to maintain the entry and the exit sites of DNA and keep the DNA correctly wrapped around the histone protein, just like this. Okay, so linker is attached with the entry and the exit point so that there will be the correct wrapping of DNA around the histone octamer. Okay, so this is the coiling DNA double helix. When it is coiled around the histone, then it is known as nucleosome, and nucleosome, when it is again coiled, then it is known as chromatin fiber, and again after coiling and condensation at the metaphase stage, it is known as chromosome. So first layer of level of DNA packaging is nucleosome, DNA wrapped around the histone protein, that is nucleosome. After coiling of nucleosome, it forms the chromatin or the solenoid. Then third level is looped domain, that is found in the interphase or in the prophase stage of cell cycle. And fourth stage of DNA packaging is the chromosome, which is found at the metaphase stage. We will discuss about the metaphase, prophase and all in the cell cycle and cell division. Okay, this is again showing the same. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you everyone. This you should just to understand, not important for your exams. Thank you everyone.